Good morning and welcome to another self-care Sunday video. I'm not gonna lie to you, I already had a morning routine. It is almost 12 o'clock now. My mornings are very sacred to me, so I don't usually like to film them. Maybe one day I'll do like a whole morning video, but already had my latte and some breakfast. I just thought, you know what, I wouldn't say bored. I'm not a naturally bored person, but being forced to be inside all weekend and majority of the week is making me feel a little restless. So I thought we would film a video, give me something to do, and then I can edit it. Plus I have a lot on my mind that I kind of want to speak about. We had our long relaxing morning routine and slept in. I just took my supplements and I'm getting like breakouts a little bit, and I don't know if it's from wearing so much sunscreen. I've been outside a lot lately, but I really want to go on a walk, and it's nice and overcast. It's not going to be hot today, so I feel like it would be the perfect time. I'm really trying to make the most out of this weather because I love walking outside, but obviously can't do that when it's super hot, and I'm very, very sensitive to heat. But first things first, this house is a mess, so we need to tidy up a little bit, and I'm gonna step back. I feel like I'm way too close. We need to tidy up. We need to move our body. Also want to do some like stretching and yoga, so we need to move our body. Unfortunately, I do have work tomorrow, so we need to prep for the week. I normally would meal prep on Sundays, but my car has been in the shop for almost 2 weeks, and I live farther out of town now, so I don't know, just I'm not prepared. Like, you know, you can't control everything. Life happens, so no meal prep this week. See how that goes, because still gotta stay strong on this diet. I feel like all I have done is clean the house this week, which, don't get me wrong, like my dream is to be a homemaker, so I'm not necessarily complaining, but I have also had to work as well, so it's just not fun. And you might be like, well, what about your husband? Don't. My husband is a saint, but he also works a lot. So let's tidy this place up and then see what we get up to for the rest of the day. Forgot to mention, always have to watch vlogs. Vlogs are an essential part of a self-care Sunday. And I just want to share this moment. How beautiful. I love this piano. This is probably one of the coolest things. We got this for free on Facebook Marketplace. Anyone who's from Oklahoma, specifically like Tulsa, Claremore, this is from the Belvedere Mansion. Don't ask, I don't know. I don't know how we were blessed to receive this, but we are never getting rid of it. We're currently in a rental, and I was like, we are not getting rid of this. There's gotta be a way for us to keep this beautiful piano. Anyway, I just really like this moment I've created over here, but yeah, we definitely need to tidy up. So let's do it. In my little workstation. Believe it or not, I did just attempt to organize it yesterday, but I didn't finish. Organizing is just not in my nature. But here's some inventory and some things I need to rework. Can't work here. There, like, something needs to be done. Because I don't know, I just feel like filming on my back camera. It's been raining off and on for a solid week or more, especially this weekend, and it says that the rain is supposed to start again in an hour, so I thought this would be the perfect time to just go on a chill, cool 20-30 minute walk, get our blood flowing, start moving for the day. I've been feeling pretty sedentary this week. Even though I haven't been, I've actually worked out the last 2 days and was planning on taking a rest day today, But I just feel like in this moment, I feel super restless. Oh, it smells so good right here. It's because of the mimosa tree. And the rain just like brings out the smell. Anyway, I really want to go to the pool area and talk. So this would be the perfect opportunity. Current update, it's like actually fully raining, but not enough to like soak me. So I'm gonna see how long I can last before I might need to go in. Well, I was gonna film, but now there is someone at the pool, of course. Like, I don't care about like filming in public at this point. I just don't want people to think I'm filming them. This actually worked out perfect. I don't know if you can hear the sound of the pool, but I just feel like it's so relaxing. Like, I know that this is, it's just like a regular pool, but it really does feel like you're like at the ocean. Okay, so we finished our little walk. I was just kind of thinking today that, you know, a lot of people that make content on YouTube are probably like pretty lonely for the most part, or very introverted. And I know like at least that's true for me. And even though I'm like very introverted, I do get lonely. I need a lot of alone time to process and to feel like me and to just be centered. But I also do love being with people like one-on-one. I think that's why truly my husband is my best friend, and I miss him when we don't get time together like on a weekly basis. But I really long and crave for true female friendships, and the only reason I don't really have that right now where I live is because I don't really like allow myself to be friends with coworkers, number one, which I think I feel that rule changing. You don't have to be like so beholden to certain things like that. And I feel like I also work in a different field now, so it is different. I think retail can be very catty, and thankfully I'm not in retail anymore. And then number two, I do have two very close friends, but they unfortunately live like pretty far. They unfortunately do live pretty far away. And that really sucks. And I think like for the last year or two, I've kind of just been like cool with not having very many friends. I feel like I just had a lot going on personally, and just was constantly and chronically stressed out from the type of work I did. But now I'm just like to kind of like find my community and my people. My husband and I started going to mass, and so I don't know, I feel like we might find our like a couple there, but but I don't know. And it's just like, it's times like these where when I get super lonely like this, like I maybe miss those connections or friendships that I no longer have, or like cut off, or they didn't work out or whatever. And I don't know, I think that's natural, but then it's also like you shouldn't really just go feel like you want to go back to something because it's familiar. Like, you need to remember why that person's not in your life anymore, whether they chose not to be or whether you chose not to be. But I'm not gonna lie, it's super hard, and I don't know, maybe I need to speak to a therapist about this. It's hard for me with like one friend in particular, because I guess because it was like a friendship that was like imbalanced or became imbalanced, and I just felt like I wasn't really seen. That I wasn't like, I don't know, it felt weird, honestly, like I was a secret friend or something. I don't know, like it just felt really weird. And the sad thing is like that was a person that I was like deeply connected to for like different reasons, but they could sometimes be very shallow in a way that just like was uncomfortable to me, because I'm very much like an all in or all out kind of person, and wear my heart on my sleeve, not super shallow. Not that I can't be. I think like we can all be shallow at times. I don't know. I guess I just get caught up in like wondering if they ever think about me, and like sometimes hoping that they would reach out, because it was kind of like a situation that was left unresolved on my part, because I feel like I'm always the one filling the gap. And so with this particular situation, I had just like had enough, and I was like, well, I'm just not going to respond to them and see like if they ever reach out to me again. And they didn't. And that really sucks, and that really hurts. On the other hand, I have a friend who I had known for the same amount of time. We're still great friends, and we kind of got into it like a year ago. As you know, when you know someone for a very long time, it's like natural to have those like fallouts. And I really had to learn that like just because you have a fallout doesn't mean that you should never talk to that person again. Hello, like that's my toxic trait. If anyone has heavy Scorpio placements, you can probably relate. And like that can be a blessing and a curse. And I've just really learned like how to soften my heart more. And I know when someone's good for me and when they have really good intentions. And like if I know that at their core, then I need to just like give them grace and let them go through whatever they're going through without like feeling like I need to completely remove myself. Because I know that I can also become very emotional at times and irrational. Like we all have our moments, and I would hate for somebody to just like cast me aside and abandon me in a moment like that. So whatever, like deep friendships, you're gonna fight. It's natural. We're human, right? It's like how we bounce back from that, just like in any deep and meaningful relationship. And anyway, all that to say, like when we finally got over our little tiff, they told me that they went to therapy. And so I was in my retreating era, okay, let's call it that. And so I had also cut this person off, and I actually took a step further and blocked them because I just did not want the communication open. It was a very stressful time in my life. Like I was grieving my sibling. I was about to go on this really exciting trip with my husband, and I was like, I just want to shut off from the world. So I blocked them. I've never blocked anyone in my life, honestly. And they told me that they went to therapy, and their therapist told them, well, you should take that as a sign of like respect their boundary. Don't reach back out to them. Like, don't talk to them again. But it's funny because it's like in that time, like, yes, I did block them, but eventually I unblocked them like a month later or so. And I was really hoping that they would reach back out. And then they didn't because their therapist told them not to. So I don't know. I do feel like that is one of those rare scenarios where you should always follow your heart. Because it was like this particular friend really wanted to reach out to me, and I really wanted them to reach out to me. And we're very like tethered and connected. And I feel like when you're like that with a friend or like any person in general, they're obviously not bad for you in any way necessarily. That's when you should really trust your gut in those situations and just do it and like soften your heart and listen to that inner voice. Because a lot of times that inner voice is coming from a more healed place. Like you've had time to think about things and whatever. And you've had time to give that person grace and yourself. Obviously the nuance here is you have to be very healed and like know yourself and be regulated to do this. Like I don't think in a push and pull dynamic that necessarily is good advice. I'm just telling you, this is a friend that I've had for a super, super long time. I know her so well. Like she's basically my sister. So I knew that that was the right thing to reach out again. And I'm glad I did, because now our friendship is even better and we're both in a more healed place. And that's the thing too, is like, I don't know, maybe I should write a Substack about this, but I also feel like friendships, especially ones that you've had for a long time, sometimes you need a pause. Like it's okay. It's okay to be like, I need space from this. Like I truly just need a break from this right now. And I think you should be able to voice that, and like the other person should be able to accept it. All that to say, this is just like, when I get really lonely, I just get in my head, and I think about that other friendship where I just like left the gap open and never said anything again. And I guess the only difference is I didn't block that person, so they've had, you know, every opportunity to reach back out. Yeah, it just really hurts when, like, I believe that I can find those connections again. I like to keep an open mind, and like what you believe is what you can attract sometimes. Sometimes it like really leaves me, that is not flattering, like questioning if I'm really meant to have like another connection like that. I don't know. And here's like another very vulnerable thing that I will share on this topic too, is like I ask for one thing and like I want one thing, but then I feel like sometimes a bit of a hypocrite when I meet people and like I just don't really fully vibe with them, or maybe like I catch like a really weird vibe, and so I kind of like let it fade out and like allow myself to be a little bit more like shallow, I guess you could say, like feel it out and then like let it fizzle. To me that feels really disingenuous and I don't like it, but it's like there really is no proper etiquette for like meeting someone and kind of hanging out with them and then being like, oh, I don't really want to hang out with you anymore. There just isn't. And like yeah, you might invite them to a group thing or whatever, but you don't necessarily like want to go grab a coffee, you know, like that one-on-one time. Then I start to feel like hypocritical, but also like I don't know what to do. And don't get me wrong, like I think that's happened to me a couple times for sure, and it does hurt a little bit, but you know, when you're a little bit more emotionally mature, you can just be like, okay, well, like if they liked me, then we would hang out more, and like that's okay if they don't, because you feel like that about people sometimes too. So, I don't know, that this is like I understand this is a very long venting spiral, but you know, I hope it's relatable. It's a little bit later, and for the remainder of this part of our self-care Sunday, I'm gonna cozy up on the couch in some comfy clothes and have a little Christmas chocolate and do some online shopping. There's nothing a little retail therapy can't help. Would you believe me if I told you that I forgot to film an outro? Well, I hope so, because I did. I completely passed out and took a nap, which I feel like is honestly the perfect self-care thing you can do. And somehow every Sunday, I just find myself exhausted by like the end of the day and I take a little nap. So this Sunday was no different. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you made it to the very end, comment this emoji below. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.